Okay, family, who is ready for a review? And we're going to go over a few things that we went over in our class. We're going to keep we're going to keep it short, but I need you guys to make sure you look at these videos and actually save these videos because they will be very beneficial to you. You may want to get some information off of them, use them at a later date. Okay. All right. So we are going to go over. Let me get a sip of water here, family. And I wish I had some almonds right now. I ate them up. I ate up all my almonds. Gotta go back to the store. Anyway, all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and share our screen, and we're going to open up the Tuka program here. We are going to let's take a look at our T-shirt and see if there's anything, yeah, I used a t-shirt recently, anything that we need to adjust or change with our t-shirt. I think I want to make my shoulder a little bit wider. So I'm going to check with the measuring tool here. It's like a ruler. And I'm going to see how wide my shoulder is. So that's a little bit narrow. That's like a very small. I know my shoulder is at least probably 14 and a half or 15 inches. So this D means distance. It's saying 12.433. If you're reading this chart, see this chart here, reading this chart, the D is for the distance that the straight line is. And the segment, notice it says 14.352. The segment is measuring the shoulder line and the neckline. So I want my shoulder to be a bit wider. So I'm going to add about 1 inch on each side, and then we'll measure it again. So in order to keep my armhole shape sort of in the same area, I want to use move points. So with move points, I'll be able to grab a few points and then at one specific point, move it to a specific number. So I'm going to grab, let me get in the function first, touch that. So I'm going to grab from my back notch here and to my shoulder and the armhole. And I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to zoom up here. And I'm going to extend this line extend it about 1 1/4. 1 1/4 inch, 1.25. And whatever these other measurements are, it's okay. It's measuring grade points only. So it's measuring this grade point here at the shoulder, and then it's measuring the movement of this, the first point that I captured. It's a grade point. It's measuring that one as well. Okay, so I'm going to apply that and say, okay. So notice my armhole changed on the back. So now let's do the same thing to the front. So we're still in the same function. We're going to pick up the grade point at the shoulder, and we're going to move it out. We're going to take 1.25, and we're going to apply that. When we apply it, we can take a look and see if we want to make any changes. If I wanted to plug in a number here on this at the notch, I can say it's at 0.25 or something. I can say apply. Notice the movement there. And I'm going to say okay. Say okay. When I did that second movement, it actually made a little funky here. So I'm going to go to move point, and then I'm going to adjust my armhole a little bit. I also want to take that measuring tool, or the ruler, the measuring tool. And on the straight, I want to see the distance, the drop of my armhole. So it's at 7.3. I actually want to take this down about 3/4 of an inch. So I am going to go to multiple move, and I am going to drop my armhole below my well, actually above my notch, minus 0.75, minus 0.75, and that drops. I'm going to, since I'm in that function, I'm going to do the same thing to the back, and then I'll go ahead and adjust my armhole with move point. I'll shape my armhole with move point. Zoom up here. Shape. I hate when I do that. So let me zoom up, and I want to catch right on the point. And I want to move this out just a little bit because I don't want that. That shape's a little funky. Little funky. So on your t-shirts, make sure your t-shirts look they look good. Make sure you're looking at your armhole shapes, your neck shapes. Make sure your the lengths of your t-shirt are what you want, because we're going to end up plotting out some of these patterns that we've been making in our class. And I want you to have them for your personal use. Okay, so I'm just chewing up. So take a look at your patterns, the ones that have been plotted out for you already, and the ones that are we're going to be doing in the future. Okay, so that makes my armhole look a little bit better. So that's our t-shirt. We worked on our t-shirt. The t-shirt is very important. We're going to be using it probably next time. We'll probably use it to make something else. Yes, we will. So let's make sure we save this. I'm going to just say save because I know exactly what folder it's in. If I wanted to put it on a different drive or in a different area, I go to File, Save As, and then I make sure it's in the folder that I want it in, okay? It's very important to put your patterns in the folder that you want them in. I do see something here on my, that's why it's good to get your eyes on your patterns at a time that you're relaxed a little bit. Um, so, do you see what I see? I don't have turn back corners here on my hem, and I need them because the angle is sharp. So I'm going to go to seams, and I'm going to touch my hems, and looks like my seam allowance is 3/4 of an inch, and I'm just going to touch turn back and apply that. Notice that the uh, the outside line, the dotted line, did make the change to turn back corners. So that's what I see with this pattern. And so I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Okay, so let's start something new. And this is the review that we're doing, really. The t-shirt was just to take a look. Sometimes you need to move away from something and come back to it at a later date, put your eyes on it, and see the changes that you possibly want to make on it. So we're going to get a fresh screen here. So we just touch new. It's a blank piece of paper. We just touch new. And of course, a chart will come up. You all know I have mine set at 00. So when you want to clear this, you don't want to use the numbers that are in your chart. You just say cancel, and then you have a blank screen. So we're going to go to the rectangle tool. We're going to put a name on, this, and we're going to call this is going to be a pant. We're going to make a pant real quick, and we're going to call it the front. And we want the out seam to be 42 inches. We want the inseam to be 32 inches. And we're going to, what did I do? That's not right. This doesn't look right. So let's see, what did I say? I said we want the, I said, I'm cracking myself up because this looks like just a square. So I said I want the out seam to be, oh, I am cracking myself up because I said I want the outseam to be 42 inches and I want the inseam to be 32 inches, but I was supposed to be talking about the width of the like the hip, the widest part of the hip. I want to divide that by 4. So actually my hip is about 42 inches. So if I divide it by 4, then I want 11. So let's start over. Okay, so we don't need this piece, so we're just going to get a new piece, and it's the save changes no. Save changes no. So right here where I said 32, I really just want 11. Okay, I want 11, and we're going to go back and call this the front. Okay. So that mistake is cracking me up. Okay. So here we go with this manila color. And so let's right away, let's just go ahead and fill our chart, fill out our chart. So we want cut 2 because this is going to be the front pant, and we want it's going to be self. You can type in self, or you can use the arrow because you have typed it in a few times already. And we want to always, I like to center my wording along my gray line. There will be, in the quantity per bundle, there will be 2 because there are 2 fronts. So we have to state the total amount of pieces that a pattern takes. And the piece we're working on now will have an opposite piece. So it will have a piece that is on the other side of it. So instead of none, we have to put 2, and we apply that and we say, okay. Okay, so quickly we're going to go over that our hem is down at the 0 area of our ruler. Our waist will be up here at the top around the 42 area, and our outseam will be around the 11-inch area. And in on 0 here, this will be our inseam. We can put those words, we can put those texts on here. I'll just put a couple of texts on here, and I'll just say that this is our inseam. So, spelled that wrong. Inseam is the inner thigh, and our outseam is the outside of our leg. Okay, we're going to apply that. I think that's all the wording that we need right now. So we're just going to say okay. Okay, so we're going to put a couple of grade points on here, and we're going to do this real quick. I know you all have done work with the pant already. All of us who have been consistent in the class have made a pant. So we're going to put a grade point. I'm in move point, and I do not want move point. I want add point because I want to add a grade point. So I'm take curve off, add grade, and I want it 32 inches. I want 32 inches. And over here on my outseam, I want my hip, a grade point for my hip. I want that down at 7 inches. And I'm going to say, okay. I want a grade point about 1.5 inches away from my this upper area here. This is going to be my rise crotch area. This is going to be my rise crotch area. So I'm going to add a grade point here, about 1.5, 1.5, because this is going to be a knit garment. I just want my kick through the curve area of our rise, the curve area of our crotch. I want it to be only back about 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to move point. I'm going to start formulating this crotch here. So I'm going to add a couple of curve points. I keep going to move point. Why is that? I still want add point. I want to add a couple of curve points. So I'm just going to drop them down. I'm going to drop them down quick, okay, because I know I'm going to need a curve point, and I know I want an intermediate point. I'll go ahead and put the intermediate point on. That's no grade, no curve. I'll put that on after I make this adjustment. So I'm going to zoom in here so we can just only look at the crotch area. I'm going to make this this top at the waist area towards our the line that's our inseam line. I'm going to double click on that point, and I'm going to this time let's just keep it a grade point and a curve point, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Okay, I'm going to say okay. Now I'm going to go to move point, and this will be um yeah, I said keep the grade and make it a curve point, but nah, I really should just, since I have moved it, I'm going to take away the curve. I'm just going to make, because I want that line straight. I want that straight. No need to have to go back again, right? So that's almost straight, but not quite. Almost straight, but not quite. So to make it straight, I'm going to touch my, at the top of the waist, down to where that gray point is. I'm going to go to align. This is align points. So I want to align to the first point, and I want it horizontal. Okay, so that line is now straight. Now I want an intermediate point, no grade, no curve, no grade, no curve. I like an intermediate point underneath my grade point, because when we start moving the curve points, you just have more control of this point here. So you can have it slightly off the straight, but make it how you like. You can make it how you like. And then your curves can start be generated a little bit lower. Okay, so that is a front crotch. It looks a little shallow to me. So I think I want to push back. I want to push back on my front. Let's push back another 1/4 inch. And how we're going to do that, we're just going to go to multiple move. I'm just going to grab a few of these points, and I move this back another because my thighs are large. I like to give myself plenty of room. So it's the pant needs to come around our body going downward and around our thigh area. So I want to give this a little bit more kick through. So I'm going to back this off, let's say minus 0.25. See if I went the wrong way. So just undo if you go the wrong way. I used minus, so apparently it's just 0.25. 0.25. Okay. All right. So that gives me more kick through room, more curve. So I can have a little bit more room to get around my thighs. And this doesn't have to be perfect right now, because we're going to true it up. We're going to true it up a little bit later. Okay. I think I need one more curve point in this area here, because when I move this one, no, I'm in add point, I want move point, because I want a little bit deeper. I want a little bit deeper curve here. But like I said, we're going to true this up. We're going to true it up to the back once we get the back made. Okay. So to identify this as a front, we want to identify it right away and put an outside V notch. Okay. So that really is a front pant right there. But let's give this a little bit more shape. And we're going to add a curve point in the middle of the hip area. It doesn't have to be exact, but it can be 0.5. Okay, so now let's just move in our the outseam line just to get a excuse me, a hip shape here. Let's move this in 0.5, just a half inch, 0.5. Okay. And then with move point, we'll just go ahead and shape up this. Yeah, that's pretty decent. We're going to add an intermediate point about 1 inch away from. Why do I keep doing move point, family? Y'all forgive me, okay? I sure I'll keep doing She wanted to move point today. I don't know why. Okay, so we want to add an intermediate point. So that's no curve, no grade, about 1 inch. And then we want to add about 2 or 3 curve points. So we're going to add point and make it a curve. We're going to add point and make it curve. Okay, and add point and it's uncurved. All right. So here is where we're going to drop the waist. We're going to drop the waist for a little bit of shape here. Even men's pants drop their waist a bit. 0.125. So we grab all the points to create shape along the front. So even that point there we grab. Now I'm going to grab a bounding box on the first few points, and I'm going to go down again, minus 0.125. You can do this gradually. We're going to do this same thing with our when we shape our leg. Okay, so that takes me down, and then you can go and eye it out yourself, shape your you can shape it yourself with your eye. Okay, the computer does that very well with shaping by grabbing gradual points and then moving them. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to add some grade points at 6.5 inches down. That's mid thigh. 6.5 inches down is mid thigh. So we want a grade point at 6.5, 6.5 inch, 6.5 inches. And then we want another grade point 6.5 inches away from that, and that is considered your knee. So 6.5. Okay. All right. There actually is your calf area here, and then this is your ankle. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to use our drafting pencil. We're going to take the drafting pencil and we're going to go across at the mid thigh. We're going to okay that. Yes, we want a connection, and we're going to touch the outseam line, and from point, we want just that at 0 because we're just simply making a straight line. We're adding a point. We can get our tail off by right clicking. So we're going to go here to the knee. We're going to do the same thing again. Yes, we want a connecting point because we want to use these and measure this area later on. So we want this at 0. We're going to say okay. Yes. Okay. So in order to shape this area, we're just simply going to move these points back. We're going to move them back about 0.5, half inch, 0.5. So I grabbed from the mid thigh, I grabbed the knee and the hem grade points, and I moved them back. This time I'm going to move points. I'm going to grab from the knee down to the hem, and I'm going to say minus 0.5. Oh, I am just off today. I'm off today. So apparently it's just 0.5, not minus 0.5. And okay. And just the hem by itself, 0.5. And this is just gradually shaping your pants. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. We're going to do the same thing with the mid thigh at the outseam. We're going to grab that one. We're going to grab the knee area at the outseam and the hem at the outseam. So here we go. And this should be minus 0.5. Okay. Yep. And this time we just have the hem to the knee, minus 0.5. And then this time the hem only, minus 0.5. And that just gives us a little bit of shape. Okay. So this is our front. This is our front. So we're going to copy this, touch the piece, go to copy, and simply touch paste. How on earth am I getting a skirt? So apparently I must have last had copied this skirt from I don't know when, yesterday or some time ago. And it just pasted down here on my pant I'm working on. So let's get this out of our style. So we're going to delete it. If we touch it and just say delete, it will, excuse me, if we just say delete, if we touch it over here and just say delete from work area, it will still be in the inner style. So we want to touch it and say delete from the style. Yes. Now it just deleted my this is crazy. It just deleted. Aunt Cheryl is not crazy. You saw this, right? You saw this. So I'm going to undo, and see what the heck is going on. Why is this piece even coming into my style? And then so I'm touching this piece. I'm going to say delete from style. Are you sure you want to delete skirt front? Yes, because a skirt front should have never come into my style. So what we're going to do now, family, is we're going to save this joker. So we're going to put a style number on it, file, save as. We're just going to give this, let's see, Cheryl for my next pant, and think we're doing pants at 200. So it looks like my next pant is going to be SL2, so SL205. I'm just going to call it basic. And I'm going to save that because, oh my goodness, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, but while we're here, I see that because when you start from a rectangle, you get these intermediate points here. So I want to delete that intermediate point. By now, we should be able just to select it and delete it. Also, our size is not showing up yet because we have not told the computer what size this is. So to get our size, and remember, you have already established a base size for your company. Whatever the base size for your company is, you want to stay consistent and make all of your patterns in the base size. And then we'll deal with grading and all of that. We'll deal with all that later. So we're going to go to grading sizes, and we're going to determine that this is a medium. It's a medium, and I call my mediums me. You see the three ladies? That's me. Before I cut my hair off. Anyway, okay, so now we're going to touch this front. We are touching this front. And we're going to say copy. We're going to say paste. And there it is. That should have happened the other time. And then we're going to move it. You can take the move tool and move it. I just grabbed what was there. So right away, I'm going to change this from the outside V to the castle. And I'm going to say okay, because this is now my back. With the back, the difference between the back and the front, the back will extend. We're going to extend in this area here about, we're going to do maybe minus 0.75 and say okay. And then we are going to, we want our hip measurement to stay where it is, or we can add a little bit more to the back. So right now we have just only added through the thigh, the mid thigh, the knee, and the hem. So we can add a little bit more back width, maybe about a half of an inch. I'm going to use multiple move because I want all my side seams. I want everything to stay where they can sew together. So if I used extend, some of my shaping will, because I have shape at the waist. The hem is straight, but I have a shape at the waist, and it will angle. It will keep that line going, and it will angle, and it will end up changing the measurements. So if I grab all the points and then just move them out, the side seam will stay the same length. So I'm going to add 0.5 here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this out another ½ inch, minus 0.5, another ½ inch. So let's add a curve point or move point, since I'm just grabbing that move point today, right? Okay. When you grab in a section, you can grab without adding a point, and it will put a point there, but then you have to determine what kind of point you want it to be. And I want it to be a curve point. So this area, initially we had 6½ inches. So we're going to put our numbers on now. We're going to put our numbers on now. So we're going to go to the function key on your keyboard area, and then F8, if that's right. Yeah, I got it, because really I can't see with this the laptop is silver, and the numbers are not very well defined. Well, actually, yeah, all the alphabet, everything is not very well defined like they used to be. Computers when they used to be black and white. Yeah, so now there's silver and all these pretty fancy colors, and you can hardly see. At least I can hardly see, even with my new glasses. Okay. So in this area, because the back it's cut a little bit more on the bias in this area, we have a natural pull that we do on the back. We pull about 3/8 of an inch, so the back can be about 3/8 of an inch shorter than the front. So we want this at 6.125, 6.125. We have reduced this back area about 3/8 of an inch. We reduced it 3/8 of an inch. And that's for sewing. So let's go ahead and let's select tool, double click inside the back, and we're going to now name it back. Name it back. Okay. All right. So we're just doing a quick review using some of the tools that we have been using in our class. We're going to another thing that makes the back a little bit different than the front is that the back is higher. The back waist is higher than the front. So I'm going to just go with 1/4 of an inch, start moving this upward, 0.25. So we moved it down for the front, so we're taking it back up for the back. So 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch can be, and up to about an inch and inch and a quarter in some cases. But this for this this test will be fine. We don't have to keep the back perpendicular, but in your sewing, it might be just a little bit easier when you're first working with making patterns. It's okay to leave it. Doesn't have to quite be perpendicular in the back. So we can drop it down just a little bit if we need to, as long as when you sew together, you have a good shape. So that looks okay. That looks okay. So let's go ahead and make sure we put our sewing notches on. So we want outside V notches on our mid thigh and at our knee on the inseam. So both front and back, we want that. And then on our outseam, let's go ahead and put a notch on our hip, at our hip, front and back, at our hip. And let's go ahead and put a notch down here at our out on the outseam at our knee on both of them. So those should sew together. So let's do a quick seam allowance all the way around. We said this is a knit. We're going all the way around, which ends up being a straight line down. 0.375. and we're going to no turn back. So we want everything in the first position. Okay. And we want to put a hem on here, and let's do 1.25. And this time we do want a turn back. We're going to let the computer do it. Apply that. Okay. And let's do seam allowance around our, so we're actually like we're going all the way around, which ends up being a straight line. So 0.375. Okay, that. And then our hem seam allowance here is going to be 1.25. And then we're going to do a turn back and say, okay. Okay. Quickly, we're going to make a waistband. So we're going to go back to the rectangle and we're going to call it waistband. And let's see our waistband height. We're going to make it 4 inches. And then looks like we got, okay, so I have a calculator here, a big calculator. So it looks like I have, let me zoom in. Oh, can I zoom up in the function right now? No, I can't. So 8.765 plus 9.258 equals 18.023. So I got 4 by 18.023. Okay, that. And let's make that a waistband. Cut 1. Self, so I can get rid of that manila color. It's going to be 1 in the bundle, no pairing or anything. Going to apply that, but what we are going to do is we are going to set half, and then that will be our entire. So at the set half mirror line, we need notches. This is going to be our center front. And then at our, let's see, our front is 8.765. So we're going to go absolute, where am I? Create notch. No, yeah, I can create notches from the absolute. Well, it's from the previous point is where I'm setting. So what did I say? 8.765. And then when I sit that down, that other measure, oh, how did I end up too long? I must have, I thought that was 9.7 or something. That's 9.258. Oh, no. That's not right. What I did is I thought I placed this down, but maybe I put that at proportional and I didn't put it at, so no matter what, I know I want it to be at 8.765. So I'm going to use the move along, and I'm going to slide this grade point and notch to the position that I want, which is 8.765, 8.765. All right, there we go. And then there is the 9.258, 9.258. What I want to do is, because when you have a, when you know your band is folding, I like to put a grade point right in the middle. And I'm just going to put a grade point. I'm going to say 0.5 for proportional, 0.5. That will set the grade point right in the middle of that line. See, that way I know I have a 2-inch waistband. And I'm going to go ahead and put my seam allowance on here. And that is going to be 0.375, 0.375. Okay, so that's a review of how we got to the pant. That's a review of how we got to the pant. So this is a basic pant. Let's go ahead and do a quick yardage estimate on the pant. And let's say that our fabric width is 54 inches. So we're going to say edit, arrange, work area, and we're going to say 54 inches, and we want to scatter the piece. When we scatter the piece, we should see 2 fronts and 2 backs if we set it up properly. And if not, then we wouldn't be able to see it. So in our yardage estimate, if you choose to in order for you to see very clearly the end of or the height, the length of your yardage estimate, you can go and take and swap your seams. You can say switch all to cut. That way you can see your color all the way to the outer, to the edge. So now this is placed where the cut line is bold on the outside. The cut line is bold on the outside. I'm going to take my numbers off so you can see a little bit better. Then I'm going to get the guideline here and I'm going to sit it down at the edge. I think I'm a little bit off. So, oh no, I'm not. I'm right on. I'm right on. Anyway, so when I zoom up, I can see my numbers more clear. So this is 49 and a quarter. So we can just say 49 and a half. So with a calculator, you can say 49.5 divided by 36, and it will give you your yardage estimate. The yardage estimate is 1.375. 1.375 is the yardage estimate on this particular paint. Okay, so then you can edit, arrange, and to unscatter and take your working area back to 41, say okay, and then go ahead and save this again. Save it again because we added our waistband. But look, so the words are coming out of the waistband. Maybe when we zoom in, they'll be a little bit smaller, but I don't like them hanging out at all. So I'm going to double click inside of the piece and at the angle for our text, in our text area here, we're going to say minus 90, minus 90. Apply that just to make sure the words stay on the inside of the piece. Okay, go ahead and save that. Okay, so we were just trying to get to where we had a pant already done from class, and we're just what we did is we used a couple of new functions. So we want to start with a basic pant, and we use a couple of new functions. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get another style number for our pants, because this new pant is going to have a pleat in the front and it's going to have a dart in the back. It's going to have a pleat in the front and it's going to have a dart in the back. Okay, so we're going to say File, Save As. We're going to get our next pant number. Mine is going to be 206. And I'm going to say pleated pant. We want to describe in our style numbers, we want to describe our pant. Okay. So for this one, since we're going to be adding width and we're going to be manipulating the pant, we're going to go ahead and remove the internal line. So just touch the internal line and delete it. Touch the internal line and delete it. Okay, so I am going to move, because we're going to have movement, I'm going to separate my pieces a bit. Okay, separate my pieces a bit. And I'm going to go back to the seam allowance. So I'm going to switch to all the sew line. So the sew line. What we want to do is we want to add, let's see, on the front, we're going to make a pleat. So we're going to add a point on our hem, to say 0.5. It can be a grade point if you, no, let's just make it a non-curve, non-grade, non-curve, not grade. And then let's add a grade point here on the front, because we want our pleat to be about 3 inches from our center front. So from the next, I'm going to say 3. And I'm going to, I want a grade point so I'll be able to visually see where that is. Okay, there it is. All right, so let's zoom up on our front. And what we have to do is we're going to highlight the area that we want our pleat to be. And actually, I probably should go straight down. I probably should go straight down for my pleat. Because, well, it could be a little bit angled. That's okay if it angles out towards the side a little bit. Or do we want it just straight? Maybe we want it just straight. So let's delete that point at the hem. And let's go ahead and make sure we get a point in the area that we want. So we just gonna go from that 3 inches there. We're gonna say from point, and then we can make sure this is at 0. The Y is at 0, and it will set the point down in the area, this area that we want. So we're gonna go ahead and delete that internal line, but see, I still have the point. See how it's not half of where I had it previously, but it's straight down. If I put a guideline down, let's see. It should be, yeah, it should be straight there. Okay, let's move that guideline. Let's move it out of the way. Okay, so we just want to go to, we're going to go to pleats. We're going to go up here, but we're going to select the area that we want the pleats to open up. So we're going to select from the waist to the hem. We're going to go to pleats, and we're going to create a box or knife pleat. We're going to create a knife pleat. That pleat, a knife pleat, is just a pleat that is folded in one direction. A box pleat will be folded on 2 sides, this side and this side. A knife pleat will be folded on one direction. So we're going to select that, and we have the choice of box pleat or knife pleat. And we're going to have a 1-inch depth. We could change this. Let's do 1.5, 1.5-inch depth. And the number of pleats that we want right now is just simply 1. And we're going to say, okay. And the computer just opened up. So it's 1.5 inches on this side and 1.5 inches on this side. When we zoom up, we'll be able to see the notches. Only thing is these are slit notches, and we want to not slit into our knit fabrics. We try not to do that anymore because there is a lot of running in the fabrics if you slit them. If your fabric is not cut in the proper direction, if you slit them, the fabric will run. So we're simply going to put an outside V notches on top of these notches. Okay, that way we can maintain our pleat, because if we remove the notches or this line, then the pleat will no longer function as a pleat. It'll still stay the width that you have it, but it will no longer function and be able to be modified in the Tuka system as a pleat. And the same with your dart. So that's making a pleat. And we're on our front. And now we're going to go to the back pant, and we're going to make a dart. So our back right now, if we put our measurements back up, our back right now is at 9.258. We're going to reduce this 1 inch by putting a pleat. Let's just take this point here. It's already there, so we're just going to use it. We're going to add a grade point onto it. And it's 4.5 so it's quite even actually. Let's actually make it 4 from the center back. Generally, you want towards the center back a little bit wider than, smaller than what you have at the side for your darts. So we are going to go to darts, and we're going to create dart, and it's going to be at this point here. And we're going to say, oops, I'm sorry. We do have to go down. Actually, I have to make the other point. I said we're going to reduce it, but I didn't add the other grade point. So it's going to be 1 inch. We're going to reduce it 1 inch. Now we're going to select from one point to the other, always clockwise, one point to the other clockwise. And we're going to say dart, create dart. And we don't have to name it. Say we want our dart to be 6 inches long. And this here is talking about the diameter of the punch mark, and then how far away from the end of the dart do you want your punch mark. Okay, so we're going to leave it on draw. If we had it on drill and we sent this to a grader and a marker maker, if they sent it off to someone who had an automated computer cutting, then that drill mark will show up and they will drill a hole through your fabric. We kind of no longer do that. So we actually mark, and so we'll just leave this on draw. Okay. And then there is our dart. So if we wanted the dart to angle a bit more to the side, we're just simply going to touch the end of the dart, and we're going to go back to darts. Notice that more things open up now because we can do more with the dart. We can edit the dart. We could close the dart, remove the dart, do multiple things now. So we want to rotate the dart point. So we're going to get a tail. If I wanted to come this way, I come this way. Since I want to go towards the outseam, wherever you land your tail, that is where your dart. So we're just going to eye this out, and the dart adjusts, and the shape up here adjusts automatically. Okay, and that is the review for today. So we have added a pleat to the front of a pant, and we have added a dart to it. Let's see how it changes our yardage estimate. So our line for our yardage estimate is still there, our guideline. So let's go edit, arrange. Oh, what was the fabric width? I think it was 54. Let's say okay. Uh-oh, I didn't say scatter. Edit, arrange, work area, scatter at 54-inch width. Let's see what happens. No, at 54, we have to, with that pleat width added, we end up going way up. Let's see if we edit arrange at 58 inches, what will happen? If this will come back down over here. Let's see. Nope. So at 54 or 58, no matter what, we're still going to have to add yardage width. Or we know that, let's see, I'll have to put this at the very top edge here. So that takes us up to, what is that, 88 1/4. So the yardage estimate on our pleated pant, 88.25 divided by 36 is 2.45. 2.45. So that pleated pant adds quite a bit of yardage for us. But we can get 2 more legs going across. So it looks like we can get 3 legs going across, and then fill in, actually, because our zero is actually way over here. If we modify our grain line on our, let's do that. If we modify the grain line on our waistband, and look, I forgot the notch over here on this side because it's folded, so it should be a notch on this side as well. So what is the number there? 8.7. 8.765. Something like that, right? I went the wrong way. What's with me today? I'm out of it, family. Okay, to the next, 8.765. All right, there we are. Okay, so if we look, let's change the grain line. Say if you had, we said that this is a stretch, a knit pant, because we left our seam allowance at 3/8 of an inch, so it's still a knit pant. And say your stretch on your length and the width of your fabric the same way. Then you could change your grain line on your waistband here. So we would just simply select grain line that we want to be parallel to. So we're going to select that, and it will change your grain line. I don't know if you can see that's down there at the end there. And then we're going to say rotate to the grain line. And then let's check out our yardage estimate. Now, let's see what happens. Edit, arrange, work area, set already where it was, say okay. So then the grain line drops over here. So actually you can get probably at least one more waistband and 2 more legs on here within this 88, almost 88.25 inch width. All right. Okay, so edit, arrange, excuse me, did we put the size on? I think we did. Yeah, because we put the size on the basic pant. So we're going to go edit, arrange, and we're going to unscatter. We're going to put our paper back on for our paper plotter 41. And we are going to we're going to go file, attach preview. And we could say take current. It's at the pictures at the previous save, whatever it was previously. And that looks like the basic pant without the dart or the pleat. So we're going to say take current. And actually you can see that internal line there. You can see that punch mark on that side. You could take current or you could add a picture. So we want to use these more button here with the 3. Go to our files. So I'm in my sketch pictures. I'm gonna find any pant for now and just drop in. It's so hard for me. I always try to be so exact. Let's just my pants are in 3,000. So let's see if I have a pant with a pleat. I don't think I have a pant with a pleat. So I'm gonna have to sketch a pant with a pleat. So let's just go ahead and put the king pant in again as a picture. I'm gonna say, okay, there's our okay that. And then when we go to Excel, anything we needed on here. So we may need some 1.5 inch elastic. And okay, we have to give how much we need. Let's see, we're going to need about, I don't know, by let's say 32 inches. And then what else would we need? Maybe we would need draw cord. So we would need cording about 70 inches. And if we need cording, then we have to put a punch mark for where that cording will go, a buttonhole for that. So we'll go back and do that because I think our picture has it as well. So before I open up that that file, I'm going to put a punch, my button mark. I'm going to set this here about minus 0.75. So I'm minus 0.75 on the line here. Then I'm going to go up. See, I know that this is a 2-inch span. So I'm going to put the punch mark about, I'm going to put it up on the Y about 1 inch. And that'll be fine for now. See, it's right there. I'm going to say create. And there is a punch mark or a drill mark or a draw mark for where my buttonhole will go. So that will be a placement for that. Okay. And then we're going to save this now. And then we're going to go open up this Excel program. And hopefully you can still see. You can still see this. So here we go. Our style number SL206 pleated pants. There's the picture. I can make it a bit larger. So whatever you do, you can adjust things in this area. So I have 2 front, 2 back, 1 waistband. So I'm going to move down. So I have 1.5 inch alignment here. Have 1.5 inch elastic at 32 inches. I have cording here at 70 inches. And I can say, I can save that. And it's saving wherever it's saving. Okay, I can also give a little bit of sewing instruction. So I can go back to Excel. If I did it on the sheet that we were on, that was open already, and I saved it, the next time I opened it in the actual Tuka program with the Pant, the sewing information won't be there. So I want to, when I do it in the this part of the chart, it works out a little bit better. So here at special instructions, I'm going to say construction. And then, so I'm going to say buttonhole at waist front. I'm going to say pleat fold to pleat fold towards outside. Then I can move this over a little bit. And I am going to I can say, I don't have to, but I can say dart lay towards center. I don't have to say that, but I can. And I can say 1.25 of an inch hem, and I give the type of machine I want to use for my hem, and I'm going to say cover stitch. Okay, now when I go to Excel, and I launch Excel, file exists, but I want to replace it, yes. And we're going to wait for it to come up, and there it is at the bottom. So now when we go down here, there is construction information added on to the chart. We're going to just go ahead and align that. And then when we print it out, let's say file, print. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see as I prepare to print it, sending it where I want it to go. I want the paper in this direction. It's on portrait. Yep. And if I print it, it should, it says it's printing two pages. So I could have made sure I paid attention to that and made sure it stayed on just one page because we don't like to waste. And I hear my printer about to print. Okay. So I think that's everything we need here for this, what we did in class. We really did, I'm going to say save, yes. We made a pleated pant, a pleat in the front, and we added a dart into the back. We actually I just added a punch mark for your buttonhole also. Okay, all right, that's it for now. That is it for now. So we're going to stop sharing here. And that's enough. That's enough for now. Okay, so that was one class review. All right, see you next time.